So many people. Why don't you come up here? Or where should they come?
Come here.
There, come here. Come here and ask the question. Tell us your name and then ask the question. Yes, while you're asking the question, you can take it.
Hello, Swami. My name's Ashwin. I was curious about your thoughts on the role of psychedelics and spiritual and mystical experiences, especially also, for example, the role of soma or the kukyon in ancient Greek mysteries to occasion the theory that it might have been a psychedelic potion or substance that Arjuna consumed to have the vision that he had in chapter 11 of the Gita.
All right. The question about the role of psychedelics in spiritual life. Now, you might say this is a peculiarly American phenomenon or a very California phenomenon, but it's not really. It goes all the way back to ancient India. You'll be surprised to know Patanjali Yoga. In the Yoga Sutras, it's mentioned that one may induce some of these experiences through the use of certain psychedelic substances. Now, let's go a little deeper into this. A couple of examples. Right now, for example, we have the well-known neuroscientist, Christoph Koch, who is the chief scientist of the Paul Allen Brain Institute. So I was listening to his talk on consciousness, and he's been experimenting with psychedelics. There is one which is very popular among researchers now, psilocybin. I keep forgetting the name. So he's done that, and he said, I have had extraordinary experiences, and that has somehow convinced him about the importance of consciousness itself. Another very famous example was Aldous Huxley, a long way back, about 40, 50 years. His book, classic book, The Perennial Philosophy. Unfortunately, not many people read it now. It's a classic collection, wonderful collection. He was deeply connected with the Vedanta Society of Southern California. And in fact, he used to give talks in Hollywood, in the Vedanta Society there. He was a disciple of Swami Prabhavanandaji. But he experimented with, in those days, LSD. And Swami Prabhavanandaji actually warned him against doing that. They differed on that, but Swami warned him against using psychedelics. All right. What can it do and what can it not do? What it can do, in fact, the only thing that it can do is it can induce extraordinary experiences. You can, I suppose you can have visions, see lights and sounds, and the sense of you can also have the sense of a tremendous breakthrough, like an intuitive understanding, feelings of oneness, in fact, which echo what is mentioned in the texts, in the Yoga and Vedanta texts. Now, what does Vedanta say about it and Yoga say about it? From the yogic perspective, yes, these insights, these mystical experiences give you the knowledge which yoga aims at. So with this experience, you will realize that I am not the body and mind, and all of this is illumined by me, the one consciousness, and so on. So some kind of breakthrough might happen. Now the point that yoga will make, there is twofold here. One is that these insights can be and should be generated by yoga practice, not psychedelics. Why not? Yoga practice is long and arduous. Psychedelics is fast. You just pop a pill and you become enlightened. Because that long and arduous practice of yoga makes the mind sattvic, pure, and able to hold on to these spiritual experiences and benefit from them. Then it becomes a truly spiritual experience. Otherwise, it's like a flash in a pan. One gets an extraordinary feeling of elevation, feeling of insight, something tremendous, understanding something amazing. And then you're back to normal with a thud. Back to the external world, unable to benefit from that. How do you know you're unable to benefit from that? You will see no significant changes are coming in our life. There are ultimately no significant spiritual takeaways from, in the sense of our thinking, our speech, and our activity in the world. You still behave like the same old person. Worse, the second thing that yoga will say for this kind of practice is it can be actually positively damaging. It can be addictive. Often, many of these substances were highly addictive. And they can be damaging to the personality. The very personality which is seeking to be enlightened, it can, instead of making you sattvic, it can push you down to rajas and tamas also. What is the state of an addict? Is it sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic? It's tamasic, which is just the opposite of what you are trying to attain. So, the takeaway from the yogic perspective is that, yes, they do induce certain experiences which are very similar to spiritual experiences, but they will not be classified as spiritual experiences because the mind is not capable of benefiting from them. The personality is not capable of benefiting from them. After psychedelics, does one become a saint? Does the sinner become a saint? No, emphatically. After long, arduous spiritual practice, struggle of yoga, does a sinner become the saint? Quite possible. That is the goal. The second thing would be that it can be actually positively damaging. So this is the takeaway from the yoga system. But let's go deeper. Now I'm going to the Vedanta or Advaita system. Advaita will make the preliminary point that what's the point of all these experiences? The point of experiences is to show you the truth of the claims of the spiritual path, that you are not the body, not the mind, that you are the limitless consciousness. This should become clear to you. That knowledge is the takeaway, not a series of wonderful visions. See, one of the problems of the New Age movement is, while it is liberal, while it is open, while it is peaceful compared to the old religions, but the New Age movement also sometimes becomes a kind of experience chasing, pill-popping experience chasing. Nowhere more so than our Central Park here. So, but experience chasing was not the goal of any of the ancient systems. Even the Patanjali yoga system, which talks about samadhis and various mystical experiences, the goal is enlightenment, not seeing lights or visions. What Advaita would say is that ultimately, what have you got when you see a burst of light, or even when you have the feeling, the oceanic feeling of oneness with everything? What Advaita would say is that, note, the same consciousness, the same awareness, you who did not see those things earlier, are now seeing those extraordinary things. You are having those extraordinary experiences. Very soon you will not have those experiences again until you pop the next pill. So, that same consciousness is there. It is to that one consciousness that experiences both extraordinary and ordinary appear. The experience, the content of the experience is not important. It is the one which is having those experiences, one which is illumining and revealing those experiences, that is important. Notice in Advaita Vedanta what we do. We never chase extraordinary experiences. The method of the seer and the seen, the method of the 5 sheets, the method of the waking, dreaming, deep sleep. Waking, dreaming, deep sleep, are they extraordinary experiences? So no, they are daily experiences of everybody. All of us have those experiences. You're awake now. It's getting a little hotter here, might fall asleep very soon. So, waking, dreaming, deep sleep. They are all ordinary experiences. And Advaita Vedanta claims that these ordinary experiences are enough. They are enough to give you enlightenment. How? If ordinary experiences were enough to give us enlightenment, everybody would be enlightened, because everybody has an ordinary experience, not the experience by themselves. Experience and the investigation of those experiences by Advaita. You need waking, dreaming, deep sleep, absolutely. But with that you must add Mandukya Karika. You need the physical body, the vital body, the mental body, the intellectual body, the causal body. I'm talking about the 5 sheets. The Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, that's all there already. Nothing mystical about it. It's all there right now. All of us have it right now. Plus, you need the Taittiriya Upanishad to guide you through it to the realization that you are the witness consciousness. So the ordinary experience is sufficient for enlightenment in Advaita Vedanta. You don't need to pop pills. You don't even need to do extraordinary efforts to attain certain peculiar mystical experiences. And there's a special advantage today. Special advantage is, even if one has extraordinary mystical experiences, a scientist, neuroscientist, a doctor might just say, I don't doubt you have those experiences. Suppose you have the experience of oneness of the universe. You feel one with everything. The doctor or the neuroscientist will simply say that that's because you had certain neurochemicals from affected your brain that way. You felt that. That does not mean the universe is one with you. It just continues to be the same old universe. You felt it. Just because you feel something does not mean it's real. But what does Advaita do? Advaita does not use extraordinary experiences to claim that the universe is one. No. What it does is, it uses ordinary experience and then reason, logic, rigorously argued logic, to show you the universe must be one with you from the perspective of consciousness, not from the body perspective. That is much more acceptable. That is much more, at least much more difficult to refute. You can go to the same doctor, same neuroscientist, and you can do that. Actually, it's being done now. And tell them, we are not talking about mystical experiences, we are not talking about popping pills and psychedelics, but let's just take the experience which you, doctor, you, professor, you have it and I have it, and then reason on that. And you come to this conclusion, the same conclusion. Yeah, so that's my answer. Thank you so much.